Hi folks, today we are learning about Pareto charts and I'll teach you how to make a Pareto chart. So before we proceed, let's understand what is a Pareto chart. Pareto analysis is basically a statistical technique which is used in decision making and used for the selection of a limited number of tasks that produce significant overall effect. So Pareto is an Italian scientist who basically he observed that, see, he did some kind of experiment and observed that 80% of the income in Italy went to 20% of the population. And later on he carried out same surveys to different countries and in different projects, and to his surprise he found that it applies to everything. It is also called an 80-20 rule. So it applies to almost every industry, and we can say that, for example, 80% of the customer complaint arise from 20% of your products and services. Another would be 80% of delays in the schedule result from 20% of possible cause of the delay. So we have certain examples which are mentioned over here. So let's straight away dive into it and let's see how to make a Pareto chart. And the data source that I'm using for Pareto chart would be a sample superstore from Tableau. Okay, so I would like to see how much sales do we have from the number of order IDs. So for this, I'll just put order IDs into columns, okay, and sales into rows. So I would like to see how much sales do I derive from the number of order IDs. So for this, I have just put in order IDs into columns and sales into rows. The next step would be to put it into descending order. So I have put all the sales in descending order and I'll make it as an entire view. Okay, once I'm done with the same, I'll go here and apply a quick table calculation, which is running total. Then next step would be to come here in edit table calculation and apply a secondary calculation, which is click here, and that is percent of root. Okay, once you do that, your chart looks like this. So if you see that your axis has now changed from number of sales to the percentage. Okay, now I'll put order ID into details and make sure, guys, this order ID I have in the descending order. If you sign the three bars over here, the biggest bar, the smallest, and the smallest bar, okay, so it shows that the order IDs are in descending order. Make sure to make this order ID, which is in details, in descending order as well. And how do I do that? I'll just click here, I'll just go to sort, I'll go here, I'll put it in field and descending order. The field name is sales, okay, and this is okay, sum. Once I am done with the same, I'll come here. Now I've got this is in percentage. I'll have to make these order IDs, the value of these order IDs, in percentage as well. So for this, I'll come here and will change into continuous data, that is to count distinct. Now if you see that the pill has become green, so it is in now continuous data. I'll come here. Next step would be I'll come here, I'll go for running total. Then I'll still apply the edit table calculation, specific dimension to the order ID, and secondary table calculation, same percent of total. Okay. Once I'm done with the same, I'll come here and I'll go for edit table calculation. I'll make sure that my specific dimension should get it to order ID. Now let's change this to a line chart. Okay. Now I'll drag the sales again here. So I've got these two charts. I'll come here, I'll make a dual axis, which is this. This is for the first bar and this sum of sales for the second one. So I'll make this to an area chart. This is an area chart. Okay. I'll remove this. Also I'll drag this here, or I can remove that as well by doing this. Okay, once I'm done, I'll put a reference line to both of the axes. I've got the sales, which I say add a reference line, and I need a constant 80%, so I'll go for the constant, and for this I have 0.8, that is 80%. and then I'll click here as well. I'll put another reference line which says count order IDs, which is again constant to 20%. So I'll just come here, that is 20% of the. So here we have the Pareto chart. So it says 80% of the sales are basically done by the 20% of the order items. Okay, and this can be applied to any industry and any projects. Okay, we can make the same Pareto chart for others data source as well. All right. So this is it for this video. I'll teach you certain other charts like a donut chart or a waterfall chart, bomb chart or rank chart in my other videos. Till then, thank you and happy analyzing.